Hey you guys, how you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back to another session of the After You Say I Do series. And oh my gosh, I am so excited because we have this beautiful couple here with us. Their names are Carrie and Shane Francois. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. Hi Carrie, hi Shane. Welcome to the After You Say I Do series.
Yep.
Alrighty, so we're gonna jump right into it. I have questions for you all. So if you've been following the series so far, you'd recognize that I asked the same question. So I'm gonna ask you guys the same questions. Individually, of course, we're gonna start with Carrie. Carrie, before you entered into marriage, before you met Shane and said, well, this is my husband, before you got married, what was your perception of what marriage is going to be like? What was it in your head? What were your expectations?
Okay, so basically what I perceive marriage to be like, okay, I saw it as a union between two persons, a union sanctioned by God. It's coming together, two people coming together, two different backgrounds, and trying to coexist, but coexist, not just coexist, but be able to come together and be one in decisions, how they live, understanding each other. Yeah, basically, yeah.
Great. Okay, so that's what your perception was. Shane, what did you think marriage was going to be like before you entered into marriage? Before you said the whole "I do," before you said "Carrie, will you marry me?" What did you think it was going to be like?
All right. Yes. So, my perception, what I thought, um, yes. To be honest, even growing up, in church and all of that, I thought it would have been, I thought it would have been worse than what I thought it was, because, even like, I mean, like all around, like even the grown-ups, they would always give that advice and say, marriage not easy, it's not an easy thing. So I had that in my head and stuff, but then when I got there, I saw it was actually different. Yeah, my expectations, I also had some expectations, and then I also realized that I had to bring down my expectations because they were so high that at times I would have been getting disappointed. Yeah. So then I had to actually bring down my expectation. Basically, even for marriage, like even whilst we were actually dating and all of that, even like I I would have my expectation, like how I would want Carrie to be, how I would want her to dress and conduct herself, and even all of that. So I actually had to bring it down a little just so I would be happy as well. Yeah.
Wow, we're going deep so quickly, and we've only just started this conversation.
I know, right?
Kenny's taking us all the way in. Okay.
Really.
So you guys came with expectations. So Shane is saying that he came with expectations that it's gonna be
Very
difficult because the adults, and I still experience it. Adults say like marriage is hard work, so that kind of like makes me feel like, boy, if I'm not ready for this hard work, I might as well stay single. And
Yeah.
Carrie came with more realistic expectations. She's like, well, yeah, this is gonna be a union, and this is two people's lives merging. But you made a very interesting point, Shane, which I'm gonna touch on later on in this conversation. When you spoke about compromise, and you said that you had to somewhat compromise your expectations in order for you to be happy and for y'all to be happy together. I love that. We'll touch on that in a bit. Let's go to the next question. And this is the part that I'm really interested in. When you actually got married, how did your perception change based on the reality? So what was the reality of marriage in comparison to what you expected? Was it everything you expected? Was it different? Was it different in a good way? Was it different in a bad way? What was the reality of marriage? Starting with you, Carrie.
Okay, so what I expected prior to being married was to have a support, basically, a man to be there for me when I needed him, especially sometimes when you feel sick, when you're demotivated, and what, basically a best friend, but of the opposite sex. So when I got married, the what was the reality, basically, it was some it was good, and some of it was still is challenging.
Mhm.
Um, when like to living together is a challenge. I would say two people from different backgrounds coming together, trying to live in a house together. You know, you have your own rules you've grown up with and whatnot, and then you have to live with someone else. You have to try to compromise, and you know, different. It's so different, and it's good as well because, like dating, you know, at the end of the day, we speak and then you speak and then you'd go home. I'll be like, it's yeah. And then right now, being married is like he's there with me. We sleep together. We could speak. There's nice. We have pillow talk. You know, you speak before you wake up in the morning. You speak. You discuss certain things. I think basically, like, yeah, my best friend. He's my best friend, and it's so good because sometimes when I'm sick, he would pray for me. He would pray with me, and it I will not lie, I feel so much better after he prays for me. Um, Also, how different it's certain things are challenging, like what he was saying, like certain folks when they spoke to us about getting married, oh, it's not nothing easy. I remember someone told me that, Carrie, you think marriage easy? It's not nothing easy. And I'm like, I'm not saying it's easy, it's a challenge, but getting to understand what the challenge is and trying to overcome that challenge together is the best thing and the main thing. So I would not say it's an easy thing, but it's a beautiful thing. I would not lie. As my best friend there, we would sometimes we disagree, and at the end of the day, we come back together. We speak. It's I can't even describe marriage. It's a beautiful thing. Just
All right.
when you reach there, you go no.
I love it. Oh my gosh, you guys listen. Where's the guy? I need to be getting married to date. All right. So now we're going to Shane. Shane, tell us,
Yes.
what was the reality? So you then say, okay, Carrie, yes, marry me. I expect this and this and this. I'm compromised. You're the girl. What is the reality compared to what your expectation was when you entered into marriage?
All right. Yes. So even prior before we got married, like I said, one of the perception, one of the things I had in mind was based on what my older folks, like the grown-ups, all of them, they had been telling me that it's not easy, it's not easy, it's not easy. And then so I always had that on mind, and they were always saying like it's not easy, like just a lot of people, even in our church all around, they would always say marriage not easy, it's not easy thing. But then when I got into marriage, um, I realized it was not as bad as like what like what they would normally tell us. Yeah. And my expectations, like I said earlier, I actually had to lower down some of them. Like, so I don't know if you want me to expand on it now or maybe later. But yeah, so I had a series of expectations, when we get up on a morning, I would be like me, like just whatever we have to do, let's just do it one time. But my wife Carrie, she has her times, and when she's ready, then she will do
Wow.
what she has to do.
Oh,
So then
wow.
so that was one of
No, I'm
the
appreciating the
expectations I had.
honesty of this conversation. And this is
Yeah,
very real. We're keeping it real here, right?
yeah. So that's actually one. Because me, I would say, okay, we get up, okay, let's wash, let's cook. let's clean, mop, let's just do what we have to do one time, sweep. But then Carrie would have a time like, and when she's ready, she would do it. So then that's one of the things I actually had to bring down, even when it comes to like Carrie and I, like even us going out to events, like I
You're
would
more
say
the
like
social butterfly.
I'm the yes, I'm the butterfly.
The
So I
social
would
butterfly.
go around, I would talk to everybody, I would shake, I would just socialize with people. But then like Carrie would more keep to herself. But then me thinking of it and pondering it, I would have been disappointed because I would want her to be like me. So then I actually had to like think, okay, you know what, that is Carrie, that is who she is, that's how she is. So I actually had to like bring down that expectation from my head. So yeah, so character, attitude, different stuff. Yeah, I understand. Like she has always, I have my ways, but then yeah, I just had to go down, we compromise, and yeah, for our happiness. Yeah.
Shane, when you write that book, listen, I'm buying a coffee. I'm buying a coffee. You guys are like a little two fountains of wisdom, and you're just pouring it all out on us today. I'm loving it. I am loving it. So, Carrie, you spoke something about, you spoke to compromise, and Shane more or less expanded on compromise. So the two of you are speaking the same language. Compromise is such a key thing, and I love the reality of the conversation in that both of you are saying, because it's two different people coming into a relationship, you are used to doing things different ways. And then I think Karen mentioned it and Shane mentioned it in his own way, that so Shane, you get the example that Carrie would do things in her time. So she has her, doesn't mean it doesn't get done, it gets done, but it gets done in her time. But for you, you're the type of person who you do your stuff first thing in the morning, because that's probably how you were raised or stuff like that. So you see a difference in the culture, and compromise is needed. This is such a beautiful but important point, because I feel that a lot of marriages, they face these difficulties, and because people are not willing to compromise, that's when the difficulty probably comes in. They'll say like, you know what, like I know that my wife not listening, or my husband doesn't listen. Oh, wow, you guys, the fountain of youth and wisdom. I'm appreciating it. Let me ask you guys one more question based on what you said. What would you say is the most challenging thing? And it doesn't have to be a personal example, but what would you say the most challenging thing you think marriage offers? Like, what's the most challenging thing you probably have to overcome, or you have to deal with on a daily basis, or something that's hard for you to do but you have to continuously do it in marriage? And you could take your time to think on this one.
Yeah. Carrie, yeah. So okay, so my wife, Carrie, will go first.
No, I think
yes, just think of it, the most challenging thing for us, you on a daily basis.
For me, basically, I still thinking, babe. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You still thinking? Let me tell you for you. Yeah, I help you out.
What?
If I leave the thing there,
oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
You wanted the one time.
Once you know, Shane.
Okay. For us, for what's a challenge? Well, one of the challenges for me, and I'm realizing that as we go on with each other day to day, it kind of the more time we spend with each other, it kind of helps me to try to lessen on it. But certain things that Chris would do, like I'm that type of person, if that's how I was raised. Like we take something somewhere, you put it back the same way when you're done with it. Now Chris, he would I was just about to say he would sometimes, but sometimes he would forget. And that's a challenge for me, because I'm like, yo, bro, you forgot to put that there. And it's like, just put it back for me, babe. And I'm like, babe, when we just got married, that was a problem for me, because it would get to me. And then afterwards, like now as we're going on in being together and stuff. Sometimes he would forget, and sometimes I would mention it, sometimes I don't. So that's basically one of my challenges being married to him. That's one of my pet peeves. When he forgets to put things back, or basically that's one of the challenges for me. So I guess it's probably patience, getting patience. I think that's what God is giving me there right now, extra patience.
This the next one.
She said mention some. I
No,
mentioned
she's
one.
missing the next one. The next one she's missing is in me dressing and appreciating myself or my pride.
Oh yeah, like taking pride in
Yeah.
how he looks. I like him to be a bit more self-conscious in how he dresses himself, and that's why I'm the one who basically organizes our clothes. I would iron. I love ironing men's clothes. I don't like ironing women's clothes. I prefer iron men. So I would take my time and put our outfits or whatever together and stuff. Because it's not that he doesn't do it well. It's just that it's not really it's like it's not really important to him as much as it's important to me. So I guess since it's that important to me, I'm the one taking charge of that.
I love that. I love that. This conversation is so real. Like I can literally imagine my marriage already. No, I'm kidding. But I love the reality of this conversation. And I think a lot of times when people think about marriage, and I'm coming to you, Chris, because I want to hear what you have to say. But I think a lot of times when people think about marriage, they think about such complex things and the big things and just how we're going to amalgamate and how like the complex issues, but really marriage is the little things that you
It's the little things.
Let's jump to you, Chris. I need to hear what is the challenge? What are the daily challenges that you face that always comes up when you have to deal with?
All right, so the daily challenge. The first one, I'm gonna speak on the same points I gave earlier about if I forget to put something someplace, like we have discussed, and I've told her that if I forget to put it there and she sees it, like she can just take it and just put it there. And I believe that her actions, like by she always putting it there, like at some point I'll just check, hey, you know what, can you have been putting that there for me? So you know what, I'll try better to just put it there. So I was spoken to about it, like just if you see something, I forget to put the cup there, or I forget to put the mug there or whatever, just put it there rather than like calling me and telling me, Chris, come and do that or do that. Yeah. So that's actually one of the challenge that we are still working on. Yeah, we have been working on it. The second one.
You're talking about the clothes thingy.
No, I gave you that.
Oh, I thought you were speaking on both.
Yeah. There's another one I had in my head.
On the building thing?
What was? Oh, the other one. No, the second one is that I think it's women. Women like to talk. They like to nag. They like to quarrel.
Why do you like to say women like to nag? Come on.
Yes. So
I'm not taking that one.
So like today, we had a guy picking some ackee for us from the tree, and then he has cutting some branches. And one of the branch ended up falling on the wire and stuff. And then she started talking. I said, Kerry, just relax, just relax. Yeah, like to me, you can just say it once, just say a thing once, and that's it. Get your point across. But like when you say it over and over,
I said it one more time after that because I was like, I spoke to you about it, and then it happened, and then afterwards I said, you see what happened, of course.
And then you say it again.
So him being the man that he's like, you know what, you gotta tell me that.
No, it's not about that. No, what I'm saying, my point is that you can just say it once and then that's it. But then to be saying it 2, 3, 4 times, like it does get to me. So like that's another challenge, and that's something we want to see. We have to work on.
I'm sorry for speaking so much in your ears. Okay.
Apology accepted.
Wow, I feel like a whole counseling session going on right. about the Akis.
Yeah.
I honestly appreciate the honesty of this conversation. It is so real. I like how real you all keep it. And this is what I look forward to in conversations because people face real challenge, like everyday challenges in their
Yes.
marriage. People don't go to their marriage and talk about Maslow's laws and this person's law and that theory and that. No, people have to deal with the Aki branch and they have to deal with the dirty cup and their husband putting their shoes, wait, please keep it at the door.
True.
People deal with these real everyday issues, and that's a thing that kind of one builds upon one another, and then eventually the wife is just so upset because he doesn't listen, and now everything he does upsets her, and then she doesn't compromise. She could just move the cup. And why she always nagging? And then he kind of like, if she loved me, she would move the cup. And then you have a marriage is broken, just like that, you know. So I
Sure.
honestly appreciate the transparency of the conversation. And like I like to tell people when I call them and I ask for it, it's not that I'm asking you for your business, but this helps people that they know that listen, I'm not the only one going through this. I there are other people that are going through the same. Listen, they're doing listen, oh look, Shelly's doing exactly what I'm doing. And they're getting through it. Carrie's doing exactly what I'm doing, and they're happy and they're getting through it. So that means our marriage could work. So I'm hoping that someone could get these takeaways from this conversation. Thank you guys so much for coming and for being part of this conversation. To my YouTube family, I want to say thank you for viewing. Go ahead, like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this link, y'all. This conversation was on point. Fire, fire. I love it. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you for having
Greg.
us.
Yes, thank you very much.
Bye.
God bless in the rest of your
Goodbye.
videos.
Yep.